continued evolution of the last mile. It's the topic of my conversation today with Bill Catania. He is CEO of OneRail. Hi, Bill.
Bob, how are you today?
Good to have you back.
Glad to be back.
How is last mile innovation driving business innovation, especially in the parcel space?
Well, shippers are really trying to take control of their destiny. And the way they do that is working with different technologies that are able to, I use the term mode shop. So instead of just having a default to parcel, they're looking at other modes like Courier where they can shift some of that volume. They're also looking at RPCs. You know, I think a lot of the volume in parcel has been really a duopoly between FedEx and UPS, but there's a lot of other options out there with companies like OnTrack, and there's a huge national network of RPCs out there. So really, it's having the technology to be able to look at the order, make a decision, decide in the moment, if that can go to an RPC or to a courier, which de-risks a lot of these shippers from having allocations on capacity or really outrageous pricing on oversized items.
Yeah, I wonder, some of this at least has been driven by, over the last few years, the rise in parcel rates, the introduction of dimensional pricing, which has caused problems too. Is that one of the things that has caused shippers to seek alternatives?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, it's really mostly, it's volume based, but the oversized, there's been a disproportionate price increase on oversized items.
Yeah.
So that's really where the bigger pain point is.
Not to mention all the peak season, extra charges, the surcharges and things like that certainly have people thinking differently.
Exactly, and it's not necessarily a default to want to pull volume off of the big two, but it's really just having a plan B.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, so consumer demand has obviously been a major driver in the last mile space in recent years. What do you hear from customers that are presenting opportunities to innovate? Tell me more about that innovation side of it, and what are the alternatives that customers are discovering and thinking about?
Well, I think it starts with the legacy. The legacy technology has been tremendous. It's been very effective, like TMS solutions at handling LTL and FTL and even parcel. But where it gets complex is when you start to think beyond that to that courier side of the equation. TMSs typically don't get quite as granular as some of the newer solutions that are out there, like some of the orchestration platforms. So what we're finding is shippers are installing new technology that can sit next to their TMS. They're not replacing their TMS, they're augmenting it. And then it's also having a broader view of capacity. There's a lot of great supply out there. There's a lot of great carriers, whether they're gig economy, whether they're kind of a W2 professional courier with sprinter vans. It's a matter of really using technology to harness all that supply so that it aligns with demand.
Do you think it is technology is the reason why we have suddenly seen such an explosion of options? I mean, you point out on the parcel business has been dominated for years and years by UPS and FedEx. No other place to go. Now it seems that indeed there are, right? Is technology the reason?
The term that I like to use, Bob, is democratization. There's a democratization that's happening where no longer are you really pigeonholed into a couple decisions. With these technology solutions, it puts the shipper in control. And at the end of the day, that's how it should be. It's their brand, it's their customer. They should be able to serve them the way they need to. And that's what the technology does. It democratizes the capacity.
What do you mean when we say technology? You're talking about platforms, orchestration. Can you be a little more specific about what types of technology we're seeing?
So the types of technologies, that are really driving this change are orchestration platforms. And what they're doing is they're looking at the order data and they're making decisions on the very best path, optimized to cost and dependability, and the customer's preferences. That's what unified commerce is all about, is putting the customer at the center of the universe. These technologies optimize fulfillment based on the customer's preference. So the customer can enjoy their favorite retailer, whether it's e-com, in-store, on mobile, any of those channels, the same exact way. And without that technology, it's really hard to do that, because you end up in what I call a hardwired decision where an order comes in and it just defaults to a certain SLA or courier without contemplating the customer's needs. And then the final piece of that is the visibility that comes from that. The customer now understands, where the product is, if there's a change in delivery time or speed, if there's a cancellation, if there's an exception. That visibility didn't exist before the way it does now. And that's really what it takes to be successful in 2023.
How do you view the future evolution of last mile? What might we see, like really blue skying? What additional options? We hear about autonomous trucking and autonomous, automobiles and things. What's in the future?
Well, I think the biggest advancement you're going to see is what I call, it's a triangulation of data that happens in real time when the customer's browsing online. And that triangulation is between inventory, visibility to inventory during the moment of browsing, that's connected to transportation calculations that are real time, that are determining how fast and what's it going to cost when a shopper is actually looking at products. A lot of the solutions today, I think the bleeding edge right now is what Amazon's doing, right? You get options at the end of the order. You can have everything today. You can have some of it today, some of it tomorrow.
Right.
The whole focus around triangulating inventory, transportation, and consumer preferences in real time, in milliseconds, that's the unlock. And that's what allows retailers to truly evolve their omni-channel strategy.
Thanks so much, Bill, for helping me, giving us a peek into last mile innovation. I really appreciate it. We talk for a moment about OneRail?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
This whole notion of unified commerce orchestration. What is that all about?
So first of all, hats off to Gartner. Gartner did a good job defining unified commerce. The world has really been saying omni-channel a lot. I've been speaking at conferences in a couple different industries since 2013. And the word omni-channel's been front and center.
Yeah.
Gartner has done a good job defining unified. It's what I just said, basically, which is the experience is impacted before the checkout. It's happening during the purchase, the path to purchase. So unified commerce takes into consideration more interoperability between systems, where inventory and transportation can talk, and where strategy of inventory placement starts to become a really big deal. Then that's going to trigger more optimization of inbound inventory to balance and put the inventory where it's supposed to be to match the demand. And that's really what it's all about. Unified commerce is the next step of omni-channel, and it's happening earlier in the transaction.
Great. Thanks again, Bill. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have been speaking with Bill Catania of OneRail. Thank you very much for watching.